Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be my review of Lamzu's Atlantis. This is a new wireless mouse in a white and blue colorway with a 3395 sensor. The mouse is not out to purchase yet. It will be soon. The unboxing experience is beautiful, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But there are a lot of mice hitting the market with 3395 sensors, and the real question is, how does the Lamzu compare to the other ones that we've recently reviewed, including the Aria and the Pulsar X2? Let's get into it. As far as I know, guys, the mouse is going to be $89.99, and you are getting quite a lot here. You're getting that new 3395 sensor. You're getting a pretty awesome unboxing experience with additionals in the box itself. You kind of pull this package out of the main enclosure with all the hardware, the mouse. You get a nice little message from Lamzu, and you do have a velvet carrying case for your mouse. The mouse sits right here with the dongle, and in the velvet carrying case, you actually do get your cable along with additional skates. In terms of overall build quality on the mouse, the buttons just have minor side flex. There is a little bit of pre-travel and a little bit of post-travel, but overall nothing very significant. The side buttons have a little bit of post-travel both on mouse 4 and mouse 5. Nothing too significant, nothing that feels bad in-game. And the shell, if you do squeeze as hard as you can get the mouse to feel like it's kind of shifting and opening up the bottom plate a little bit off the mouse. So I would just caution you guys, don't really squeeze hard, don't play around with it too much. And when you push down from the top, it feels like the mouse shell is flexing a little bit as well. And also the bottom, of course, where in the areas where it's open, if you push down, you actually do feel like it's flexing quite a bit. But you don't feel any flex in game, so that's the important thing. The DPI button here on the right side of the mouse does correspond with an RGB indicator on the left. You can set up more DPI steps in the software. I went with 2, and your on-off switch is here. The bottom plate actually does look really cool. I love that little dragonfly design that they have, and the glass skates actually perform and look really nice as well. I think anybody on the market for a new mouse has a very tough decision. There are a lot of 3395 mice that just hit the market, and there are more coming before the end of the year. We have the Fantech Aria that we recently reviewed, of course the Atlantis, and the Pulsar X2 regular. The Atlantis is 55 grams with glass skates and actually has the best weight distribution out of all three of these mice. And given the fact that it's the biggest shell and the biggest hand feel, it actually feels a lot lighter than 55 grams and noticeably lighter than the other two mice. Given its bigger shell, it actually has more weight dispersed throughout a larger surface, making it feel a little bit lighter in the hand. In terms of the Fantech Aria and the Pulsar and the Atlantis, all three of them have very different shapes, and I would not compare them shape-wise at all. In terms of the texture of all three of these mice, the texture is actually somewhat similar, and if you do have very sweaty hands, I would probably caution you to potentially buy third-party grips for any one of these three mice. The Aria actually does come with the grips in the box. In terms of the glass skates, they actually do feel very good on the Atlantis. I think, though, those are only limited to the first 1,000 orders. These three mice actually are quite different in the switch feel because the Atlantis is using Huano pink dots, while the Pulsar and the Aria actually use Kale 8.0s. All three have very nice switch feel, very responsive, very tactile, very clicky, but the Atlantis definitely takes the cake with those beautiful Huano pink dot switches. I would say Lamzu's Atlantis is most similar shape-wise to Endgame Gear's XM1R. There are some pretty decent changes here, and whether you like them or not is definitely going to depend on how wide your hand is. The Endgame Gear XM1 is quite flat in nature, but towards the front side of the mouse, it actually kind of gets very narrow and flat on the sides of the mouse as well. The Lamzu actually feels a bit similar to the Endgame Gear XM1 in the hand, even in this area on the bottom of the mouse, even though it looks like the XM1R flares out a little bit more. But the mid region and the finger positioning over the buttons of mouse 1 and mouse 2, your hand is actually going to feel noticeably higher. So if you liked the Endgame Gear XM1R, but your hand felt like it was too flat, you might very well enjoy the Lamzu Atlantis. The only issue I had with the additional height is that in this area of the mouse right here on the right side of the mouse, it actually kind of flares up like a little lip towards the front of the mouse. And given the fact that it's higher, my finger actually feels like it's extending outward quite a bit more. And I didn't really like the finger positioning of my ring finger on the mouse compared to the XM1R. It feels a little bit more comfortable for me on Endgame Gear's XM1R. So I am still very looking forward to the XM2, but the Atlantis, after using it for an extensive period of time, I didn't notice my ring finger positioning anymore. It kind of just went away, kind of became an out of sight, out of mind type thing. And I was able to perform very well on the Atlantis. My time with the Atlantis in-game was actually pretty damn good. I'll throw up clips on my left, but what I like about the Atlantis are the Huano pink dot switches. I think when you're in-game, you have your headphones on, you have your IEMs in, you know, you're kind of isolated to the noise around you, and you get a very nice tactile response from this, even with your IEMs in, your headphones in. And that's one of the things I love about those switches. I do think that the mouse, again, feels very similar to an XM1, so if you hated the XM1, I don't really think you're just gonna grab the Atlantis and love it. But if your reason for hitting the XM1 was because it was a little bit too flat, I do think that it is worth the try in the Atlantis for its price of admission. The thing I love about the Atlantis is, even though it's kind of a medium to large size mouse, and you get this kind of like support and stability from the back of the mouse, it kind of tapers in, and you feel as though you're getting that precision from a smaller mouse with those tighter angles and that micro control. And I think that's, for me, one of the reasons why I perform so well on the XM1R, and definitely why I perform well on the Atlantis. I think it's just, in general, a very good package here. Again, especially for $89 for what you're getting in the box with the extra skates and the new technology, very lightweight, well-weight distributed mouse in the Atlantis. That is it for this review, guys. I hope it helped. If it did, please leave a sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace.